Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. SeKo Beercraft here, having a couple of drinks, watching some pro level replays. We got ourselves EG Machine. Down here on the bottom right is the red Zerg versus ShinGouki. Blue Zerg, top left. Now the name ShinGouki seems familiar to me, but Bubble doesn't. So either I've actually seen replays of ShinGouki in the past, or he's some sort of anime character that I'm not familiar with and that everybody else probably knows about but me. I am perfectly fine with that regardless. Yes. Been kind of a hectic week for me. I don't know about anybody else. It's the weekend here, so I'm feeling quite chill. Hopefully this goes up on the weekend to give the right kind of context to the replay. But it's just been one of those, I don't know how many of you are working full-time jobs or nothing like that, but it's one of those weeks where it seems that nothing kind of goes easy for you, where you want to let everybody else kind of take care of the problems and just go find a little space to kind of crawl into. But because that's not always the case when obviously you're managing or you're owning a company, such as what I do, it means you kind of just gotta roll with the punches. And cast some mirror matchup Zerg versus Zerg, which is my most hated of all matchups to play. But to cast, it's actually a little bit more interesting, because I get a laugh at other people's misfortunes. To this point, it looks like completely identical builds from both of these players, though we don't see ShinGouki going for an expansion as early as Machine is. Now, there isn't any scouting in place for either player at this time, so it'll be a while before ShinGouki knows. Okay, I was completely blind. Maybe I haven't drank enough. I didn't see that spawning pool up there. So I'm like, did he hide his spawning pool somewhere? That doesn't make any sense. Then I realized I haven't drank enough, and now it's okay. Machine will have his hatch out slightly faster, but it probably won't make too big of a difference. The spawning pool out a little bit quicker just means you get your queen quicker and get the injects. So it's difficult to say which one's definitely better. He's only going to be making a couple lings to go and scout with, so there really wasn't any intention of putting on pressure. Otherwise, this probably would have came out somewhere around the 12 drone, or potentially even the 9 or the 10. As I sometimes like to do just to try to throw my opponent off. I hate the Zerg versus Zerg matchup so much that it's very often I'll go for some sort of 9 or 10 pool with a 6 or 8 ling attack, so I can deny the other person's expansion while I'm putting up mine. It works quite often, and then I actually try to revert back into a normal game, then make 50 Zerglings rush me and I die. So yeah, that's my story though. I don't know if anybody else feels the same thing. Unless you guys are those people I play against where you make the 50 Zerglings on 2 bases, hide them, and just rush. I've tried that a couple times just to see if it works, and it actually does. Unless the other person counters it completely with tons of banelings or has their own 50 Zerglings, you win just about all the time. Kind of a scout, but there's really not too much to see at this stage of the game. Maybe an early Roach Warren or something like that might exist, but ultimately, there really isn't too much value in going for a really, really early scout into the base like that. When your speed finishes, it's nice to make a run by, because that usually means that there's enough gas for them to be able to transition into some form of lair attack. As I had mentioned, getting out the queens a little bit faster on ShinGouki's side, so if we look at the unit side, they're essentially in the same place when it comes to workers, even though Machine had his expansion out a lot sooner. Looks like he's going to try to hunt down an Overlord. He should just get it, though ShinGouki's Overlords look a lot better than Machine's. You'll see that there's a little bit of damage on this one, so it looks like ShinGouki tried to do the same thing. But he's going to position his Overlords in a position where he should be able to get them out in time. And he's probably running that over maybe to the third base, though it would be very, very strange to see a fast third base. Interesting spot for an Evo chamber. I generally see a lot more players use it as part of a wall off at the front, just to be able to stop from mass ling run-bys. We have a lair that started a little bit quicker from Machine. Machine might actually be trying to go for some upgrades. He is going for the Carapace, so it would make me think that he would be transitioning into some sort of Roach play. Having the Carapace upgrade against an opponent who's going all lings, is extremely valuable. We see another gas get taken, so I'm going to assume it could be a Roach push, though we do see Zerglings on the way, as well as banelings right now. Where are these happening? Oh, they're just defensive banelings, in case they go for a big run-by. It appears these guys both have completely different tech paths. Likely Spire tech out of ShinGouki, Oh, third base. And lots of lings. This is kind of interesting here out of machine. I was expecting more of a roach push, hence getting more gas. The computer, he sees all the lings out now, and the banelings, so I would be expecting something on this side. He's going to scout with one ling. No, he's actually going to try to attack a worker. Surprised. I don't think Machine actually knows what the tech path is of his opponent right now. Lots of banelings. No, he doesn't know that the lair tech is there. But he is going for some sort of push and win right now. It doesn't look like he wants to get into any sort of late game play. I would have thought to have seen more spine crawlers going down the front, maybe an Evo chamber or something like that. A lot of banelings here though. We'll see if that's enough to hold off. It's a long time for that spire to finish and to get out more. Good trade. Oh no. Whoa. Pretty bad trade so far from ShinGouki. He does have enough banelings at home to potentially stall this. He is making more banelings. Actually, he was advanced making more banelings. A lot more Zerglings coming in. See, there's the Evo chambers I was talking about. Be nice, maybe run a couple of banelings around the other side. All that ShinGouki wants to do now is stay alive long enough for his Mutas to get out. He's going to be in a great spot. The funny thing is maybe in Wings of Liberty, if you got out a handful of Mutas and your opponent even, like, you know, went all in with a bunch of Lings and you held it off, 4 Mutas could do a lot of damage. Now with Spore Crawlers, a handful of Mutas just won't do enough damage to be able to stop your opponent. There's not even a lair attack out of Machine here. He's got no intention. Oh my god, that is a lot of banelings. Looks like the wall. Holy crap. Oh no. Not very good control out of ShinGouki, and he just leaves the game. He knows he's done. Mutas are going to pop, but he's lost way too much production. He has no defenses. Now, what could have ShinGouki done to stop that? Personally, I would have probably went for maybe 3 crawlers. All you got to do is survive, right? If your whole plan is to live, I mean, it's unfortunate that this wasn't tight here. But if your whole plan is to just live, overproduce defenses because you know your opponent is behind on tech. This really funny thing about the way that ShinGouki played this and that rush to lair tech is that even if he got it out and held it off, a couple of spores at each base, and the Machine, even though he's down on tech, is going to be massively ahead on economy. Workers-wise, even with all that production into Zerglings and Banelings, look at how much of a lead there is for economy for a Machine there. So I think that was just a much more polished, specific build out of Machine. And ShinGouki probably kills a lot of people with a 2-base Muta, but if your opponent isn't rushing 2-base Muta or equivalent, sometimes you just end up losing. Anyways, fast little Zerg versus Zerg game. Hope you guys like that. Talk with you real soon.